Hi everyone, my name's Andrea and welcome to my booktube channel. Today I'm here with my TBR video for Latinx-A-THON 2021. I'm super excited to share all these titles with you all. We've got new prompts and they're kind of spooky themed and seasonal themed, so I made sure to pick some good spooky reads. I think that this pile that I'm about to share isn't necessarily everything that I'm going to read during the readathon, but they're all books that I want to check out, especially during the spooky season and during Latinx Heritage Month. So let's get started! So the first book that I want to talk about is called Letters to My Mother, and this would fit the first prompt of Read Something Short. I think it's under 150 pages long. It's about a young Afro-Cuban girl who is sent to live with her aunt and cousin after the death of her mother. They taunt her about her dark skin, thick lips, and her refusal to straighten her hair. To keep the memory alive of her mother and to keep it present, she writes letters to her mother about everything that is happening. This book just seemed really interesting from the synopsis that I read, and it really popped out to me when I was researching, so I'm excited to read it. The second book on my TBR is The Black Flower and Other Zapotec Poems by Natalia Toledo, and this would fit the first prompt again for Read Something Short and the fourth one of reading something seasonal because the cover kind of has those traditional fall and autumnal colors in it, and it's about the contemporary life of Isthmus Zapotec in vivid, lush detail. This author is really renowned for her work in Zapotec poetry and literature, and so I'm super excited to actually read some of her work. It's translated by Claire Sullivan, I believe, who has translated a lot of other indigenous poetry before, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's supposed to get here on the very first day of the readathon, so yay for me. The next book I want to talk about is We Light Up the Sky by Lilian Rivera. This would fit the third and the fourth prompts, which is reading something cozy and reading something seasonal. It fits reading something cozy for me because some of my favorite movies are sci-fi movies. I really love E.T., I really love Alien, and I just love a really good, great alien story, and so this book promises that. And then it's something seasonal because of the colors on the cover, those sunset colors, if you can see. I really think of sunsets, especially like red and not red, especially like pink and purple and indigo sunsets with the fall. I think they go hand in hand, at least where I live. And this book is about Pedro, Luna, and Rafa, who all attend the same high school in LA but aren't necessarily kind of friends. It's about an alien invasion. So when an extraterrestrial visitor lands in their city and takes form of Luna's cousin Tasha, the three of them are kind of thrown on an adventure to warn everyone else of what is coming. And I've heard really good things about this book as well. The next book that I want to talk about is called A People's History of the Vampire Uprising, and this would fit the second prompt of reading something spooky. I'm very excited about this book. I really like the format that World War Z was told in, where you kind of get these vignettes of different events that were all happening at kind of the same time to get like this really cool like timeline of this event. In World War Z it was zombies, and here it's vampires. So this book starts off with the body of a young woman found in an Arizona border town, and she's thought to be an undocumented immigrant, but then the body disappears in the town morgue. It's described as part social political satire and part international mystery about a new virus that turns people into something a little bit more than human. The next book on my list is The Dangers of Smoking in Bed by Mariana Enriquez. This would also fit the second prompt of reading something spooky. It's a collection of stories that are socially conscious and press into being the unspoken. So there's stories that deal with fetish and illness, the female body, and darkness, especially that of human history, and it's kind of all written against the backdrop of current day Argentina. I've read two other Argentine writers for Latinx-A-THON. They were both horror, so I'm excited to kind of continue that tradition. The next book on my list is called Poems of My Night by Cynthia Pelayo. This would fit the first and the second prompts, so the first being read something short and the second being read something spooky. It's a collection of poetry that reflects the spiritual, the occult, and the everyday happenings that become extraordinary in their own rights. It's a response to the work of Jorge Luis Borges, who is an Argentine author and is famous for his themes of dreams, labyrinths, philosophers, libraries, mirrors, fictional writers, and mythology. And then the other book I have is also another Cynthia Pelayo book. It's called Into the Forest, and all the way through. This would fit the first and second prompts again, which is reading a short work and reading something spooky, but I think you could also kind of put it in for the fourth prompt, which is read something seasonal, just because it has leaves on the cover and it kind of reminds me of like November and October. So this is a collection of true crime poetry that explores the cases of over 100 missing and murdered women in the US. So it's over 100 poems, and it includes name, dates, and places. At the end of each segment, I think it also includes city, an investigating agency, and phone number if you may have any information or tips to add to these cases. The reviews that I've read have called this collection of poetry a hard read, so I might leave it off till the end of the readathon just so I don't get like in a reading slump or anything like that. Those are most of my books that I have planned for Latinx-A-THON. I just want to mention a few others that are contenders in the list. The first book that I have here is Visas Carnaval. This is going to fit the prompts of reading a short work, which is the first one, reading something cozy because it's about community and festivities and unity, and reading something seasonal, the fourth prompt, because although it does not take place in the autumn, it does take place during Carnival season. It's about a little girl who wants to experience Carnival with her grandmother, and it looks very sweet, and I might look at it. The other book I have here is Mañana Land by Pam Munoz Ryan. This is a translated edition into Spanish. I always try to read a Spanish written book during Latinx-A-THON, so I might be able to sneak it in if I have enough time. But I am a big fan of this author's writing. I think this also fits the prompts of seasonal because it has all those seasonal colors in them, and cozy because I believe it's a nettle grade and it looks cute. And then the last book that I have here is Queen of the Cicadas by Yvette Castro, in Spanish La Reina de las Chicharras. I recently read Goddess of Filth by Yvette Castro, and I interviewed her, so if you want to watch that interview, go click here or somewhere down there, I don't know. I'll have it linked somewhere. This book is about an urban legend concerning La Reina de las Chicharras, aka the Queen of the Cicadas in Texas, and it kind of like alternates between timelines because there's like a legend and murders and all this kind of stuff happening. She is really good at gore, which is something that I noticed in Goddess of Filth, so I'm going to try my best to kind of get this one in as well, but we'll see. But yeah, those are all the books that I have planned for this year's Latinx-A-THON. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you have any great picks or books that you're excited for, please let me know in the comments below, or let us all know on Instagram or Twitter. I'm so excited to find out what everybody else is reading. I hope you are all having a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.